I'm Donna Kessler, and today I'm at Paul Jr. Designs in Montgomery. And I'll be talking with Paul Jr., but we'll be checking out his shop and finding out exactly what he has been up to. But more importantly, Paul has written a book, and we will be discussing exactly what that book is about. You're not going to want to miss this episode of My Ride Garage. Well, thanks for finally sitting down with me.
It's my pleasure.
We've met a few times, but
Yeah.
this is good.
Yeah.
This is good. Now, first of all, I want to talk about the shop. Now,
Okay.
A lot of folks probably don't even know that you moved from over
On Stonecastle Road.
Right.
That's right.
to
Yeah.
here.
Mm-hmm.
To here. And this is Ward Street in Montgomery.
Ward Street, Montgomery.
And
that's
this
right.
is an old building?
This building is not that old. It was the Pine Bush Auction House for years. They always had auctions in here, from what I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like one of those buildings when you drive by it, it's there for so long and it's so close to the road, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think even now that I'm in here, people just drive by it.
Yeah.
I need a sign that goes outwards.
Yes.
Because
Yeah, you do.
it's so close to the road. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just an empty shell, and so I took about a year to build this place out.
Yeah, it's really
And I'm
nice. Got a
still
great
kind of
little retail area
Tweaking
out
it.
there.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah, we did a real turn of the century kind of feel to it, and that's I like antique things, especially transportation related, turn of the century.
Yeah.
And so I have like a 1909 Indian out there. I have a lot of motors from the early teens. And the doors, the same doors that
Yeah.
are here, there's doors, the two doors that separate the shop from the showroom are from a wool mill from New Hampshire. I put two here, and then I have another one out.
And folks can come visit, right?
Every day we're open 10 to 5 every day.
There you go. We are here for a whole other reason.
Yeah, what's that?
You're building bikes, but you're also like
We're building books too.
penning a little.
Yeah.
So Paul, why now? Why write a book?
Why now? Well, I'll be honest with you. This thing started out a while ago. This book was supposed to launch last fall.
Oh wow.
And it just didn't happen. You know how sometimes the moving parts, we did the deal and then finally found a writer, and then it just was moving slow. I don't know why. It was just a number of things, and we kind of missed our deadline last year, and we all kind of realized, okay, we're not going to get the book out this year. So we kind of moved it to this fall, and the timing it seems to be working out actually better. There's just a lot more attention on what's going on. My shop is now done. I actually have a retail space to sell the book, where last year I didn't.
Yeah.
So I think altogether it's a good thing. So it just timing wise it seems right.
You had a lot going on. You got married.
I got married.
You're a dad.
I'm a dad. That's
and
right.
Now you're still a bike builder. with a
Still a
new
bike
shop,
builder, and now apparently
an
I'm an
author.
author. Yeah, it's like, gosh, what is it that I don't do?
Exactly.
No, what do they say? Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
Maybe in bike building.
Yeah.
Maybe. That first 10-year run of American Chopper is 5 years ago from the last episode.
Yeah.
So a lot of breathing room. It gave me a lot of time to reflect on what that was. The first 2 years, you just, after the show aired, it was a process.
Yeah.
It was a process where I couldn't wait to be done with it because it was consuming our lives for so long. Not a negative thing, just a very, a lot of work,
Yeah.
So it was nice to be done with it. And then I went, after a year, I went through this kind of process where I was really missing doing the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to really reflect on how much of a phenomenon it was in the beginning, and I started to really appreciate the uniqueness.
Yeah.
Even for people who have shows, not all shows are as much of a phenomenon as ours was. And then I got to really reflect on the fact that we created a genre of television. I mean, there was no reality television when we started
you were
doing it.
like one of the first.
Yeah, and so there's a whole category because of our show called docudrama.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that's an interesting thing. When you're in it, you don't reflect on it because you're just trying to keep up with it.
Right.
But with the time away, I think it's helped me tremendously to have all different perspectives about the show, about life. Family does that, having a son does that. So there's a lot of stuff that, really helps me to look at things differently. I think that, the fact that we were just real, that fact that it was so raw, we didn't even know what we were. I think sometimes people set out on television to be something, we were just there and the camera showed up. And so we didn't aspire for television. We didn't go looking for it. We didn't get the show because we wanted a show. Mm-hmm. It came to us, and I really think by the grace of God, we got a really great opportunity. And so when we got the call, we took it, and it took off really quickly.
Yeah.
So I think because we're not actors, that raw reality that sometimes was a little shocking when it came down to the fights, it translated to people. They understood that. I think people related to it. Not just the fights. The fights were a part of it, but the fact that we laughed afterwards and we cried together. And,
Sure.
there was just so many facets to our lives, and people really got to be voyeuristic into this father and son business about building bikes in upstate New York in the most unlikely, unassuming place. And it just worked for us,
Yeah.
And then they just couldn't get enough of it after that. It was like an insatiable appetite for the show.
Right.
So, and we're coming into a whole new...
Yes, they're going to have American Choppers on TV once again.
American Chopper is coming back to Discovery. And it's a new show, which is kind of fun. I mean, it's still American Chopper, but it's a whole different show. I think just because we're all in a different place now.
Yeah. And you talk about your mom, and you talk about your siblings.
Yeah, the rest of the Tuttles.
Yeah.
The whole family.
And you talk about your faith.
Yes, very much so. Well, it's like everything. It's a big, it's a big guiding.
I don't think people knew that about you.
I'm not I'm not an outward, I'll talk about it, but I'm not a guy who's really out there with a lot of words. I'm just trying to live it. And to me, that's, actions speak louder than words. Words they're necessary, but quite often cheap, and so I just try and be me, and who I am in that vein, and so, my beliefs, I'm a Christian, that's important to me, that's who I am. I feel like I give God all the credit for my creative ability the day I got fired. And it finally happened after all those years, and I worked for my father for all those years in the steel business. We had some falling outs through the years, and then all the years in motorcycle business, and then that day came, and it was a defining moment. I can't say that I hadn't been fired before, but this time it was definitely different. And so that kind of set things on a whole different course for me. I think that the environment me and my father had was not healthy. It was very unhealthy. For me, it was an oppressive environment. And so it was very hard that day, and in days to come, to try and separate myself from all the things that were so important to me and that I had so much investment in, right down to the OCC logo. Paul Jr. Designs has been around almost 10 years now, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's been that long.
I know. I mean, so it goes fast. And that's the other thing, so here we are, and you see 10 years go by in a flash, and it's like, well, we got to figure something out. We're not here that long. And for my father, I've always kept the door open. Maybe not calling every day saying, hey, this, that, and the other thing, but on the really big, important things, I've tried to include him, And so that's how you do it. That's how I've tried to do it from my side. But the absence of relationship for a long period of time, as hard as it was healthy for me. And so I'm hoping that's all coming to an end now, and hopefully I can get back into a healthy dynamic with my father.
Yeah. Now, people that are going to be watching American Choppers, it's going to be a whole different scheme. You're on a much better level now with Dad and everything.
You know what? And it's interesting. My relationship improving with my father is literally coinciding tandemly with the filming of the show. In other words, the progress is literally in real time being covered. And it's strange. You would say, well, why do you need television to have a relationship? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'll take it, because otherwise it's indifference.
Right.
For a while I struggled with that and said, oh, well, that's, it should happen outside the show, but it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
So, the show is causing us to get together, and I think that we're starting to realize, I'm hoping, again, we're in this process really early. Maybe we like each other.
Yeah.
Maybe there's
you're kind of like doing the same kind of thing,
Yeah. Well, and there's that, right? So we have that in common, but that's also an interesting thing because we're kind of each other's only competitors.
Yeah.
Because we have television, because we offer a very unique thing. And so, but I don't want to look at it like that from that standpoint, but it truly is that way. So hopefully, I want to be in a relationship. Look, he wants to keep his identity and his brand. I want to keep my identity and my brand, but we want to coexist. And maybe, just maybe, we can even help each other out, which would be a really nice thing.
Yeah.
And we could both do well, and we could support each other instead of having what we had in senior versus junior, which was just the opposite of that. And I got to be honest with you, the fans got tired of it. The viewers got tired of it, and I got tired of it.
Sure.
And so the negative stuff, it's got no.
It sure didn't help heal anything.
It did not. No.
Yeah.
And I think my father really struggled for a lot of years with the fact that, he saw me as a competitor, and I think he felt like I was undermining him, and I think it couldn't be further from the truth. I was just trying to pay the bills, be in business, take care of my family.
Yeah.
But I think he saw it differently, and I think it really caused him to be aggressive towards us. And so, all that said, moving forward, I think we're in a totally different place. I also think we have a lot more appreciation for what the show brings, for what the show is. I think 10-year run, I know for myself, as much as I tried to appreciate it, it's around for so long and such a given that you start to take it for granted. I even feel like we all feel that way. I've already talked to my father about it. Like, we feel like there's a new lease here and a really big opportunity.
You have a book signing on Saturday, November 11th.
Saturday, November 11th, 2 o'clock here. It's Veterans Day. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Paul, from what I read, this looks like a really good book, and I'm going to read all the other chapters too.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
it is a good book. Again, I'm close to it, so I'm taking people's word for it.
Sure.
But we put a lot into it. I think what people will find out of this book that's really interesting is just a lot of stuff they would never know about me personally.
Yeah.
About American Chopper, about behind the scenes, how things work, things that took place. Gotta be honest with you, that is the best title of a book for me that I could ever
Has
think.
a lot of meaning.
It just has so much meaning.
A lot of meaning.
It's so simple and strong, and timing on this is perfect. And Dave Thomas, who did the writing for me, did a great job, and it was good to work with him. But this was hard. This was a hard thing for me. I'm not very good with the book stuff. I'm not a book reader. This was a hard thing. My wife too. I'll tell you, I could not have written this book without my wife. First of all, she remembered half of what I've already forgotten.
Yeah.
So that really helped me with facts.
Uh-huh.
And she did more on this book than I did.
There you
I could
go.
almost say. I mean, really, we really partnered up on it, and so it was a great experience. But it was
Well, it's nice to see it all done.
yes,
Nice hardcover.
hardcover.
Really
and I think
nice.
you can get it everywhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say Barnes and Noble online. I saw it on Amazon.
Amazon, Barnes and Noble, everywhere
Yeah.
you get books. I
Yeah.
think Walmart's got it. I think everybody's got it. So,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping
Yeah.
things gonna do well.
Good. Well, thank you so much
My
for sitting down
pleasure,
with me.
yeah.
You make sure you keep in touch with me.
I will definitely.
Okay.
We'll keep you up to speed.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul.
All right. Thank you.
Paul Teutul Jr. is really a talented bike builder, and aside from all the TV fame, his passion still lies there. But his faith drives him, his family supports him, and now he has penned a story that all should read because it's all about who Paul Teutul Jr. is. Now be sure to grab a copy of his book, The Build. It'll make a great holiday gift as well. My Ride will continue to cover all the news from Orange County Choppers and Paul Jr. Designs at recordonline.com/myride. Till next time, this is Donna Kessler for My Ride Garage.